So students, welcome to this particular session. गुड मॉर्निंग दीपक. सो दीपक, कभी अटेम्प्ट आपका? Now students, as you all would be aware, सबको आपको आइडिया होगा about this particular area which I'll let you know. इसको स्टूडेंट्स आप लोग एक बार नोट कर लेना. I'll keep the video short, approximately maximum half an hour का रहेगा, but this half an hour would be an important particular dialogue and discussion that we will have in this particular topic. क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, how you are supposed to do it, what you are supposed to do it is what would be the focus area of this particular video. ठीक है, तो क्या और कैसे इसको आपको अचीव करना है, that is the first and foremost thing. Now students, whichever modules that you may be referring, students, just stick with that module. There is primarily beyond that only one particular book, whatever the book that you may have been referring, just stick with that. Because ICI के अंदर कुछ materials हैं which are really very very good in terms of your reference purpose for the concept clarity and more practice. So students, this is what I will suggest to all of you in this context. ICI students, material, ICI material to be referred in this context. You will refer, students, 3 RTPs of the ICI. First and foremost is the 3 RTP. These are the minimum thing which I'm just letting you know. Which are the 3 RTPs? November 2021 attempt RTP. May 2022 attempt and November 22 attempt. Students, this is something you have to do it without fail. ये लिख लो आप लोग. These are very important points which I'm just letting you all know. 3 RTP is minimum. You'll say, sir, but November 21, this is the last particular assessment year. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Doesn't make much difference, students. You'll say, sir, but the amendments and all. Take it from me, hardly there would be some issue on the amendments. आपको amendments की चिंता नहीं करनी है. There would be hardly any issue on the amendments. So don't worry much on that. Okay. So therefore this 3 RTPs is a must do for all of you. So if supposingly you would not have done it up till now, primarily, then my humble suggestion to all of you would be, please do ensure to do these 3 RTPs without fail. Okay. आप बोलोगे सर व्हाट अबाउट नवंबर 22 आरटीपी, इट हैज नॉट येट कम. स्टिल नॉट एन इशू. तब तक जब आएगा तब देख लेना. एटलीस्ट यू शुड मेक इनफ ग्राउंड टू कवर इट अप दिस 2 आरटीपी ASAP बिकॉज दिस इज ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल. तो आप थोड़ा टाइम निकालें और ये 2 आरटीपी को जल्द से जल्द आपको क्या है कंप्लीट करना है. दैट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पर्टिकुलर strategy that you should be following in this regard. Second, let's look upon to this other part. As you people are aware, now in this case, now coming on the topic wise, first the most important, first do enough practice right now because time is there. तो आपने इन टॉपिक्स का अच्छे प्रैक्टिस को एकदम स्टार्ट से ही करके चलना है. एंड द टॉपिक विच आई एम पुटिंग अक्रॉस इज ऑब्वियसली नॉन रेसिडेंट टैक्सेशन गिवन इन दिस केस plus the transfer pricing. So these are just solutions. एक मिनट, इसको मैं ऐसा लिख लेता हूँ. Topic requires practice. Practice means solving. When I say practice, would be require solving. So which are the topic, students, that will require the practice and the solving? So students, when you do these practice, so therefore this should be done, should be attended immediately. तो ज़्यादा टाइम मत देना स्टूडेंट्स इसको. You have to attend these topics immediately, students. So the topic which I am highlighting upon over here, obviously in this case, is the NR taxation plus the transfer price. Please solve these things. One of the most important lacuna of the students is that they don't solve it. Non-resident tax and the transfer pricing area, students. Non-resident taxation and the transfer pricing area. Fundamentally, students, they don't solve it, and this becomes a huge problem. In the examination, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि easy questions like, for example, unless you solve this particular question, students, yes, some of the sections you can overview. You can have an overview. Overview जैसे कि, for example, the topics which I will tell you for overview would be like the taxation of non-resident sports person, isn't it? तो ऐसे कुछ topics अगर होंगे like taxation of non-resident sports person and all, those can be overviewed, but without fail, students, you, in fact, even equalization levy, I'm telling you, students, if you write once now, because see, it's a 30 marks given, you just cannot primarily just see that, okay, I know the solution. Like, for example, I can see the students, what they do. मैं आपको बताता हूँ कैसे वो करते हैं. और are you aware? I've seen the marks. In the 30 marks, the average score that the students get is from 10 to 12 marks. 10 to 12 marks, even though the final answer is right. This is the average marks I'm telling you. I've seen in the non-resident taxation, the average score which the students are getting is around 10 to 12 marks. Even though what, students? Even though their answers are right. Final answers are right. Did anyone ever investigated why that the scoring is not going up? क्यों हमारा marks ऊपर नहीं जा रहा? The reason is that a simple question on equalization levy, I think that was in last attempt or so, last to last attempt, a simple question on equalization levy, students didn't got full marks. This is the problem. Students didn't got full marks in equalization levy, although the answer was right. Why? Because they could not draft the provision properly. Provision लिखते ही नहीं बन रहा था उनको. And this is the problem, students, which I just want you to avoid. देखो एक चीज समझ के चलना आप लोग. One thing all of you should be very careful about it is that इसके syllabus limited है. Except for the theory part, only the theory part which is there for international taxation that you can read. But other than that, the theoretical part, students, I'm telling you over here, 30 marks is a given. Direct tax में, if you know that this is the area which comes for 30 marks, at least maybe I will tell you, you give 1 hour time daily. You 30 marks है. So therefore, even if you can give yourself say 1 hour daily, but to practice and solve. इसके अंदर, like for example, when you have to practice, write the provisions. Like I can see the transfer pricing questions also, the solutions are not getting right. Maybe lack of application, and even if the solutions are getting right, they are not in a position to write the provisions properly. Like for example, आपको transfer pricing के वो calculations में, their students cannot properly write the provision about how the two entities are associated enterprise. ये दो entity associated enterprise कैसे हुए हैं ये नहीं लिखते बन रहा उनसे. Secondly, if some question comes on the APA or the rollback provision या APA, उसके answers देखो, very pathetic students. The answers in the APA or the answers in the rollback, students, these are some of most pathetic, students, the way that you are putting up your answers. So my humble suggestion to all of you would be that do practice this particular part, because unless you write once, अगर एक बार आप उसको write करके एक बार refer नहीं करोगे, 30 marks सिर्फ नाम का 30 marks है. Even though the question may be simple, you will end up only getting 10 to 12 marks. Now this attempt, the May 22 attempt, the questions were relatively very simple. Let us see how many the students could score more than 15 in this case. उसकी लिस्ट निकालते हैं. 50% के ऊपर भी मार्क्स स्कोर भी कर पाओगे जबकि क्वेश्चन सिंपल था. This is the biggest challenge which students face to score good marks so far as this area is concerned. So that's the reason why I told you the syllabus is limited. What my suggestion would be that you take 1 hour daily or maybe alternatively, but please whatever you do a practice. Try to write the provision wherever you have to write the provision and see your provision, compare your provision with what the ICI is provided for. और फिर आप कंपेयर करके देखो कि कहाँ पे where there is a scope of improvement. Please verify where would be the further scope of the improvement. वहाँ पे आप अपने आप को improve करें. Is that clear to all of you students? Deepak, all the students, I'm telling you, you have to do this. मैं बता रहा हूँ students, this is the biggest cause why the students could not score good marks so far as direct tax is concerned. So please go with the inputs which I told you just now. I'm telling you this is the important D. This is one thing you have to do. And therefore, if you plan smartly, 1 hour, I'm telling you students, 1 hour daily or alternatively. But whatever time that you do, please do a practice in writing. Except for the theoretical part which you will read it, the theory of the international taxation which has got the overview of the model convention, the interpretation principles and all, those you can read. But at least what I'm telling you to practice students, do it without fail. I hope that every one of you are clear with this. Now the second part which require practice, because I would also tell you that you can only read because time is premium. Many students will say, sir, 3.5 months is left for the examination. How much you will say only to do DT, we have got other paper. Don't worry, I will factor in everything on that. आपको चिंता नहीं करनी है, मैं बाकी सब चीज के लिए आपको इसका इलाज दे दूंगा. I'll let you know everything about it. Don't worry about that, students. Coming to point number 2, the second one is the topic like the charitable trust. Students, this topic you need to solve. You cannot read. If you last time, students, why I'm saying so? Because last time, if you see, the question that these people have asked was on the registration, the amendment part, May 22. So therefore, in November 22, very high chances, very, very high chances that they will come up with the old conventional question of computing the total income of the trust. Very old question, about the computing the total income of the trust one, or the exit tax calculation. So this is the area where you need to practice, students, and do it now, because later, and my suggestion, Shuddhadev, I have already told yesterday ka ek video dekh lo. Yesterday I have given the video expected result date. This time 18th is the date which I am putting my hands on. 18th. I have given the reason. 18th, that is next Monday. Not this Monday. 18th would be the result which we are expecting it. So that would be next Monday. So next Monday is the result which we are expecting it. And the next examination of the November would be held in time, that is 1st or 2nd November as the case may be. Okay, Sridhar, all the best from my side, Sridhar. Okay, and do update me the results. So students, now in this case, coming to the charitable trust. Charitable trust पे students आ जाइए आप लोग. And so far as the charitable trust is concerned, what we are going to say, students? Two provision I told you, computation of total income. Computation of total income. And the second one, students, is what is the second one, students, over here? The exit tax. Okay, exit tax. The third one, students, which you have to practice is the alternate tax regime. Now, alternate tax regime is what you need to solve. Now, students, please pay attention. all of you just pay attention what you have to do. क्या करना है आपको alternate tax regime में? The strategy I'm telling to all of you students, please pay attention to the important strategy. You also, sir, how to practice? The alternate tax regime is the most hot cake right now. At this point of time, this is the hot cake question which is going on right now. So my suggestion to all of you would be, from wherever you have done your books, आपने कहीं से तो किया होगा alternate tax regime, please go ahead and do that. Absolutely not an issue. However, when it comes to solving something of alternate tax, you will solve in the RTP. In this 3 RTP, what I have already mentioned to all of you, in this 3 RTP, you will be solving the alternate tax. आपको इसके MCQs मिलेंगे. You will also get the case studies. Those things you will get it. But as I told you, the recent trend is also about the total income and the tax liability. Students, please take a note of this part which I am telling to all of you. This part. You will in fact do in alternate tax regime apart from the materials that you have referred, students. Yes, that exactly, Shuddhadev. Apart from the material you have referred, you will solve, there are some 2 to 3 questions. 2 to 3 questions in students Jan 21 or May 21 or November 21 and May 22. These are the attempt, students. Please solve the examination question itself. This May 22 attempt questions. These attempt questions on, this would be an eye-opener. Jan 21 old course, students. Jan 21 it was in the old course. Then May 21, November 21, May 22. Many of you will, students, sir, from where you will check the institute website. Chances are there that the institute website has got now only their new course. So my suggestion to all of you would be, go to the Google. Google में डालिएगा, just put it in the Google, old and the new course suggested answer for Jan 21, May 21, November 21, May 22. Okay, just put it there, and there you will get those old and the new paper. You will get the suggested answer. Do it carefully from there, because in this case, attempt questions on alternate tax. Because in this case, you will be getting this question. Students, I am telling you, reading is one thing, but the examination question number 1 solving is another thing. Why this is important? Because your performance in question number 1 will ultimately depend upon your scoring ability. Ultimately will be the target for your scoring ability. How much you are going to score at the end of it, that will all depend upon this important factor, students. This important factor. Is that clear to all of you, students? Okay. So therefore, this part has to be undertaken very, very carefully. I'm just telling you, students, this particular part. Fine. Coming on. Point number 2. 40 marks is compulsory, students. And how you score this? So you have to develop a speed, students. And I'm just listing down the topic which you need to develop a speed, and alternate tax regime is among them. So this much of the topic you will ensure to do a lot of practice, students. This much of the topic you will ensure to do a lot of practice, because after this, the other remaining topics, students, which are there, these other remaining topics, primarily you may not practice, you may only read and do vouching and verification as the case may be. But at least these topics you need, unless you do a good practice, you will not be in a position to see through your paper comfortably. Speed is key. So speed is the premium in this case. Okay. Now in my third segment, November 22, most important topic. So if it is most important topic for November 22, so it means that at least 2 to 3 times revision has to be done. 2 to 3 times revision has to be done. And which is the most important topic which I'm marking for all of you? Students, over here. So the topic which I'm marking for all of you would be herein is clubbing of income. One question sure students. Clubbing of income. TDS, TCS, primary, TDS, TCS. Next is the MAT. This time MAT, students, MAT, there is a lot of gap. Now MAT, it has got a lot of gap. So in all probability, this is also one of the more important. So here it is revision. You can only read it. That is fine. And the last one, students, is penalties. 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 Is that clear to all of you now, students? Okay. So this particular area of your syllabus is one of the most important area for your November. This is specifically carved out. This is evergreen. This 3 is evergreen. Non-resident and transfer pricing 30 marks. Charitable trust, alternate tax regime. These are evergreen, meaning every item you will find it this thing. Every item you will find it. So since it is every item you will find it, practice is required to do 2 things. Why practice is required? 2 things are, number 1, so that you should ensure that you get maximum marks, your presentation is also right. And number 2, the speed is the game. If you in fact cannot solve these topics within the time allotted, you will end up only attempting 70 to 75 marks. 70 to 75 marks. You will not be in a position to touch that 90 marks in a lengthy paper of direct tax. So you need to at least ensure that few topics of the direct tax, which you always will find in the examination, you should be in a position to complete it within the time which is stipulated. Within the time which is stipulated. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you, students? And therefore, this is what the things has to be looked upon. So students, please do ensure students, that this is being taken care of properly. And now with this, I'll proceed further on the 4th. Okay, so I forgot one topic, students. One topic I forgot. Surrogate taxes. One topic I forgot. You'll say, so what is surrogate taxes? So students, in surrogate taxes you get the buyback, the AIF, business trust, securitization trust, That is how it would be. Securitization trust, that is how it would be. I hope that up till now, so far so good, students. All the now you'll say, sir, from which material? Your own material, from wherever you have referred. Students, don't try to be adventurous in these topics. I'll come on that. That is my 4th part. I'll just coming on that. Students, don't be adventurous. Refer the materials previously used. Don't be adventurous in this. Okay. Again, I'm pointing out on the 3 things. Students. What are the 3 things that I've told you right now? Students, first one, Herein 3 RTP of the ICI. This is the ICI material you have to refer. ICI material you will have to refer. November 21, May 22, November 22. ICI material you will have to refer in this case. Is that clear to all of you? This is the 3 RTPs. I told you already. You have to do it. You have to do it without fail. These 3 RTPs. Topic which require practice, solving, practice, 30 marks. I told you why we have to practice NR and transfer pricing, because even if the questions are easy, ICI don't give you full marks because your presentation is pathetic. You cannot write the provision properly, and because of the inability on the part of the students to write the provision properly, ICI don't give you full marks even if the question is simple. Charitable trust, competition. This time it is very important. November 22. Computation of total income and the exit tax. Please do them, solve them thoroughly. This is what is going to decide your fortune. And fortune favors the brave, students. Fortune favors the brave. And the last is the alternate tax regime, for which I told you, apart from whatever material that you may have referred, you have to compulsorily solve the 3 or 4 questions which the ICI has asked so far from Jan 21 attempt till May 22 attempt. And that could be either old or the new course, as the case may be. That could be either old or the new course, as the case may be. You have to solve those 3 to 4 questions, because it is question number 1. And question number 1 is for 14 marks. Students, because of the lack of practice, they take around 45 to 1 hour. And that too, they could not do justice for that. And that is where you need to ensure on 2 things. Number 1, the time that you consume is on the lower side. And number 2, the answer, your solution has got least amount of error. And that least amount of error can happen only when you do adequate practice. Third point, students, I already have told to all of you. The third one, November 22, most important topics. These are the 5. And you will remember me. Remember me, students. Today's day, Saturday. Time also you will take a note of it. And do remember me once these topics you find it on the examination. The clubbing of income, TDS TCS, MAT, penalties, and the surrogate taxes, wherein these are the topics. Okay. And now coming to the last category, students, which is the heads of income and the other particular areas. How do we attend for those areas, students? You have to do it smartly, students, because otherwise if you don't do it smartly, then it becomes a killer of a situation. So other topics, students, this is the last segment. Other topics, I'll just bifurcate for all of you. In this case, like for example PGBP, when I say PGBP, entire PGBP if you revise in a very conventional way, अगर आप एकदम ऐसी जैसे first time the way you have done it for first time, please don't do it. The other particular topics, please don't get into the risk of revising it in a conventional way. You have to do a smart revision, smart study. Okay, 15th or 16th. I have said it's 18th because it's a Sunday. Could be Saturday and Sunday there. That is the time, because I told yesterday that any point of time it could be there. So yes, it could be. So smart study, students. But let's see. Let's wait for the official communication of the ICI. I have said 18 because it was Monday, because of lately the practice has been of the ICI to get the results on Monday itself. But if they have changed it this time to Saturday, nothing like that. But I have already told yesterday's class that all the papers have been checked. That is already being checked. Review is going to happen till 11th. There is a review which is taking place by the examiners. That will happen till 11th. And that's what I told. After 11th, it could be any day now. After 11th, it could be any day. But I thought because it's a Monday which they always target, so I said that any day from Monday onwards, the results would be out. But if they are preponing it on Saturday and Sunday, nothing like that. D, isn't it? I told that thing yesterday also, and I'm repeating this point again. So review will be till 11th. After that, any day, the results can be out. So if 15th or 16th is the day, I think that is it. Let's see. Let's hope for the best, students. Now, students, let's come to this one. PGBP. Now, in PGBP, students, please ensure this topic has not been targeted for quite a long time. What is the topic? This profit linked deductions. This profit linked deduction, students, that topic you do it fast and first. Section 35 AD investment linked deduction, and this 33 AB tea, coffee, rubber development allowance, and the last, students, is this banking company. Banking company. These area of your this thing, presumptive income. Now, please understand one thing. In the case of presumptive income plus books of accounts, please be careful. Books of accounts and audit. My suggestion to all of you would be over here, do ICI MCQ and case studies. Do ICI MCQ and case study without fail. If you allow me on the MCQ and the case study part, can I put across some more items on the ICI MCQ and case study for your benefit? On this side, you have to do presumptive income plus books of accounts. This particular side, you need to put across the ICI MCQ and case study. So if you are allowing me, students, on the ICI MCQ and case study, I will also say these areas also. Which area, students? ICI MCQ plus case study. In this context, surrogate taxes, TDS, again, ICI MCQ and case study should be undertaken. And even this particular part, the ICI MCQ and the case studies. ICI MCQ and the case studies. This area should be targeted for the purpose of the ICI MCQs and the case study, students. I hope that all of you are clear with this one now. Every one of you. Are you clear with this particular proposition or not, students? Fine. Have you all written this? Perfect. So this is my humble submission to all of you, students, in this context. PGBP, these areas. Students, PGBP, these areas. Now, the most challenging area would be the depreciation. The depreciation. Try to break down depreciation into various segments and then revise. Why I am saying various segments? Depreciation is the only area of PGBP which take lot of time, and you will feel very uncomfortable about depreciation. My suggestion is that, students, if you cannot do this depreciation intelligently, tomorrow it will be a very much like it will come to you like anything. Please try depreciation. One horrible adjustment always come in question number 1. Depreciation case studies are also there. So depreciation, students, my suggestion is that you should always be smart enough. Like for example, like I will divide, like for example, divide it into 4 parts. Divide this in 4 parts, depreciation. And once you have divided into 4 parts, you will see that, like for example, rate of depreciation and the additional depreciation, 1 part. Condition of the claim of depreciation, another part. Concept of WDV or actual cost. The capitalization of amount in determining the actual cost, another part. What are the items which has to be added or which has to be reduced in determining the actual cost. Like that, you have to try to make compartments, divide into 4 parts, and then you revise it. It then becomes manageable, because if you do the depreciation in one go, it is suicidal. It is suicide. Are you getting this one? You will suddenly feel very bad about the entire topic or maybe the entire subject. Don't let that thing to happen to you. I hope that all of you are clear with this. Don't let this thing happen to you, students. Are you getting this one or not? Please tell me clearly. And maybe for each part you can give a timelines, like 1 hour for this, 15 minutes for condition of the depreciation allowance. So you can be smart enough to do your study in that way. That way you can show your smartness. That way you can show your smartness, students. So this is what primarily the situation is. And the last one, students, is the tonnage tax. Students, tonnage tax. Tonnage tax also, ICI has got one case study. ICI has got one case study. Do only that tonnage tax scheme. That is a beautiful case study and most expected for November 22. Is that clear to all of you? This is for the PGBP. Now, last point, students, I will tell to you, last strategy is only the capital gains. After that, you will say, sir, there are small topics. I can tell you whatever you decide for the remaining topics, go with that. But I'll just give my inputs. But at least the main topics I just wanted to cover, so that at least you all are aware how do I do the main topics. Okay. Now the last one is the CG. CG this time, students, the capital gains in this context. There are 2 things that you have to be very careful about. It is the rate of CG. Rate of CG. Especially the non-resident. Especially the non-resident rate, students. Do properly. Especially the NR rates of CG. Like NRI, then 115AB, 115AD. So that you have to do it very properly. The rate of CG. I'm just telling you which are the sections. Chapter 12A for NRI. Thereafter 115AB, 115AD. Those sections. So therefore, those sections you have to be extremely careful about the rate of CG and that particular context. Apart from your 112A and that 111A, which I think all of you are aware of it. That 112A and 111A, which I think all of you are aware of it. But this rate, specifically of the non-resident, this rate has to be done very, very carefully. Thereafter, November attempt, this time, students, partnership assessment is the game. Partnership assessment question is the game. Now, students, if you want, I have already done partnership assessment very thoroughly in my amendment. I have solved RTP also in this. All the logic of partnership assessment I have clarified in my last amendment YouTube lecture. In my last attempt YouTube class. So this primarily, the partnership assessment is one thing which I will request to all of you to do it very, very properly. The partnership assessment topic, I will request to all of you to do it very, very properly, students. That is my humble request. If you want, students, the partnership assessment topic, I will give you the link in the description box. The amendment part, I will give you the link in the description box. Allow me a day. I'll just share the link in the description box. Just allow me a day for that. Okay. Now, thereafter, students, the next one would be, this time, students, liquidation of company. Liquidation of company, students. Now, there are 2 things. This is very important. There are 2 things. One is a deemed dividend angle. One is a deemed dividend angle under 222C. And another is a capital gains part. So one is a deemed dividend and another is a capital gains part, students. That is what the liquidation of company is all about. This time, this particular area happens to be one of the most important area. And students, suddenly now this part, just refer this one very carefully. The last one, students, is this one. The ULIP taxation, again the amendment part. I'll just show that thing in the description box, don't worry. Plus, students, plus the business restructuring questions. Business restructuring question, student. Again, a very important part. I am writing what? Business restructuring question. You'll say, sir, what is business restructuring? Amalgamation, demerger. This time, this is very important. You'll say, sir, why you say so? May attempt, not asked. Previous to that also not asked. So therefore, amalgamation, demerger, conversion. Do this particular part thoroughly. You may not solve it. It is perfectly fine. You may not solve it. It is perfectly fine. But go through the practical case studies. That is the requirement. Solving category, students, I have already told you. The solving category I have already defined. What are the topics that you need to solve it without fail? Which is point number 2. Yes, Shuddhadev. That FMV part, as you are suggesting it, perfectly well said. So students, have you all written this? Amalgamation, demerger, conversion. This is your capital gains. This overs or this completes your capital gains. You need to do this particular area thoroughly, students. I'm telling you, you will feel a life after this. And if you can, if you are through with this one, students, if you are through with this, are you all through? All of you? The set off topic this time, students, the set off topic, please do this section 72A and 79 thoroughly. Section 72A and 79, these two sections. Section 72A and 79 thoroughly in the set off topic. Are you clear with this one or not? Fine. Are you all clear with this one? Now, one of the challenge of the students is ICDS. Sir, how do we do the ICDS? ICDS link also I will just share with you in the description box. So that if you can do the ICDS immediately, I'll share you the link in the description box. Please do ensure that you complete this particular area ASAP so that later on you don't have any botheration on the ICDS part. So ICDS, I'm just sharing you the link of it. You may try to only jot down. See, you have to be smart for ICDS. What are the key points I have told to you in my ICDS class? I've divided each ICDS, I think around 7 to 8. I've done in that 7 hours or so, 7 to 8 hours. Key points of each ICDS, students, just take a note of it. Please take a note of it, key point of the ICDS. That's it. Because in the second revision, you can only revise key points. You cannot do revision of ICDS beyond that. So the key point, whatever I will mention, you just revise that. That is all that you need to do so far as ICDS is concerned. I hope that all of you are clear with this one. Now the last one, students, which I'll just tell to all of you, the last area. Thereafter, you are on your own, students. Only the last area. The last area, students, is the assessment power of income tax authority. Power of income tax authority appeals. For these topic also, ICI, MCQ and case studies. ICI, MCQ and case studies. For these topic also, ICI, MCQ and the case study. ICI, MCQ and the case study. Is that clear to all of you? Okay, that is it, students. I have marked all of you this appropriate part. Do this thing smartly, students. It's a sure, and you can say, sir, there are small topics. That call you will take it. Apart from, I just wanted to capture these areas. Any small topics which may have been left out in our discussion, that call you will take it as per your comfort. I don't have to say much on that, but I just wanted to freeze this particular area, the manner in which you will do it, so as to ensure that your 60 plus, the exemption as far as the direct tax is concerned, can be secured, and you will be very near to achieve or obtain your goal in this regard. Is that clear to all of you students now? Now students, just one thing I just forgot, if you can allow me to put it across. Students, here in this case, if possible, do ICI case studies here, not the MCQs. MCQs you can skip, but the case studies, or may I say integrated case studies. Do ICI, please write here, ICI integrated case studies. Okay. Do ICI integrated case studies. Including equalization levy. That's it. Including equalization levy. So shall I do a quick recap, students, of what is required and must do that you have to take into account? So very quick particular run through. I've written do ICI integrated case studies including equalization levy. A very quick run through. 3 RTP of the ICI. November 21, May 22, November 22 attempt without fail. Topic require which practice? This should be attended immediately. NR taxation plus transfer pricing. Primary charitable trust, computation of total income, exit tax, alternate tax regime. Alternate tax regime apart from the material that you have referred, plus 2 to 3 questions in Jan 21, May 21, November 21, May 22. Either it is old or new, doesn't matter. But for these attempt, take up the practical questions, the total income question which were there in this particular attempt, and you need to solve them without fail. 4 or 5 questions if you practice, that is more than enough. Okay, but the examination question, and please see their presentation and please judge your own presentation, because if you find that there is a shortcoming in your presentation, please try to improve upon your presentation skill also, while adhering to the time which is available to complete that question for that particular number of marks that it carries. Okay, coming to the third one, November 22, most important topics, 2 to 3 times revision is must. Solving you can skip, at least you can go through it, but please go through it 2 to 3 times. Clubbing of income, TDS, TCS, MAT, penalties, surrogate taxes. Okay, few of them requires to be done from ICI, MCQ and case study. Those need to be done. TDS, TCS, penalties and surrogate taxes are the 3 areas for which you will have to refer mandatorily. Primarily the ICI, MCQs and the case studies. That is for sure that you will have to refer it. The next one is the other topic, smart study. For the other topic, smart study, what you have to do, PGBP, profit link deduction, 35 AD, 33 AB for tea, coffee, rubber development and the banking company provisions. And thereafter the presumptive income and the books of accounts. For that presumptive income and the books of accounts, do the ICI, MCQs and the case study without fail. Depreciation, I have told you to break down depreciation into various segments and then revise, otherwise you'll go mad. With one day actual cost WDV concept, one day the rate of depreciation and the additional depreciation concept, one day the condition of depreciation. Try to break it down into this manageable proposition, and that is how you will have to do the depreciation in one go. If you at all you have to do it the last revision of depreciation, the last revision somewhere in the month of October for depreciation has to be in one go. But right now when you are doing it, don't do it at one go, otherwise you will get badly stuck in depreciation. It will kill a lot of time. Tonnage tax scheme, directly do the ICI case study. The ICI has got one case study, directly do that for tonnage tax scheme. Capital gains, rate of capital gains tax, especially for the non-resident taxation. Do it properly, partnership assessment. And the third one is the liquidation of the company. In the liquidation of the company, deemed dividend 222C and the capital gains implication on liquidation, the capital gain, students, is in section 46. The capital gains implication is in section 46. Okay, now partnership assessment, already you will get good exposure to the RTP question of May 22, which I have already done in my amendment lecture. I will just share with you the link of the capital gains amendment as well as the link of the ICDS in the description box. Allow me today's time, I'll just share that particular links of these two lectures. Okay, I'll share it. Shrudadev. Okay, I'll share it. Thereafter, set of two topics are there, 72A and 79. 72A and 79. And finally, students, assessment, power of income tax authorities and the appeal, ICA MCQ and the case studies is must to be done. ICA MCQs and the case studies must to be done. Is that clear to all of you? Any query, students, that you may have, I'll just be there for next 2 to 3 minutes. So you have got any query, students, please do ask me before I close this session now. And again, I told you, for the remaining topics, if any, you people will take a call as per your own comfort level for any remaining topic which may have been left out in this particular case. That is my submission, that is my conviction for aiming 60 plus so far as the direct tax is concerned. Grace marks, I think since I see D, I cannot, the May 22 attempt paper, if you're talking about any grace marks, see the fact that there was a second review made this time. There was a second review, students, made this time. Are you aware of that? I told you in the yesterday's video also. In my yesterday's video also, I have told to all of you. There was a second review, students, was made this time. And the fact that there was a second review which was being made this time, therefore, the chances of, you cannot rule out the grace marks on the subject. Okay, but what it is, definitely we cannot say also, because we don't know at the first place. So yes, the papers are fully corrected. It came to the student, that papers came to whom? That paper came to the examiners again for the second review. As I told you, 11th, the submission is going to take place. And now, since these are the development which has happened, which I know, so obviously you cannot rule out the grace marks and all. But let's see. Now it's a week wait or so, isn't it? And that we'll come to know in that part of time. Now, students, any of your friends in foundation, can you just tell them quickly that today itself at 2 p.m. Today itself at 2 p.m. students, they will be getting a scholarship for intermediate preparation, their coaching and everything. What they need to do, just appear for the scholarship test. That's it. Scholarship test which is going to take place at 2 p.m. today. Just tell them to attend that scholarship test, family. And in this case, what is a scholarship? If those who got the first rank, the 70% scholarship, whatever is an Unacademy subscription, of that subscription, 70% students, the scholarship is what they are going to get it. Plus 3,000 gift voucher also would be there in this. Rank 2, 60% is the scholarship that they are going to get it. Plus 2,000 gift voucher is there. The third rank students is a 60% scholarship plus 1,000 gift voucher. 4th to 10th, 50% of the scholarship amount which that will be available to them. And the last but not the least, 11th to 50th is still 40% of the scholarship amount, means a flat discount. So it is a huge amount in this context, a huge discount which is going on. So any of your juniors who are there for this particular age group, please do let them know about the same, so that they all would be in a position to take up this particular facility. I hope that all of you are clear with this one now. With that, students, in this case, any other query, students, if you want to ask, shall we close the session then? With your permission. So students, all the best for all of you, those who are waiting for the results, and also my best wishes to all the students who are appearing for November 22 and making their honest effort to crack the November 22 CFR examination. Let's crack it, students. Take care. Bye-bye.